Hey everyone, welcome to Man Cave Insider episode 45. I'm Dennis. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can see past and future videos. We are here in my man cave, and this room is filled with things that I've collected my entire life, and these are the stories behind them. And today, we're going to be talking about Bruce Springsteen's Western Stars, and we're going to be doing an unboxing of Western Stars songs from the film on vinyl, which I just got. Now, I've been a fan of Bruce Springsteen since I've been 13 years old when I first got born in the USA. I live in New Jersey, and I live in the next town over from where Bruce Springsteen grew up. So he's been a local hero for decades. I've seen him in concert about 23 times all over the country in many different formats with the E Street Band, solo, on Broadway. I even saw him when he showed up at a bar one time on the Jersey Shore. Since the release of his first album, Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey in 1973, Springsteen has been putting out monumental albums for almost 50 years. And the release of Western Stars in 2019 is one of the most unique albums he's ever put out. This album was recorded in New Jersey, New York, and California, and he'd been working on it for several years simultaneously while working on other projects. Springsteen always viewed Western Stars as the third piece in a series of collective works, beginning with his 2016 autobiography, Born to Run. He then performed his one-man show, Springsteen on Broadway, at the Walter Kerr Theater in New York City, doing over 200 performances in 14 months. And in 2019, he finally released Western Stars. This album does not feature the E Street Band, but is very different from his other solo recordings, such as Nebraska, The Ghost of Tom Joad, and Devils in Dust. The songs on this album provide a sweeping cinematic score with horn sections, strings, backup vocalists, and over 40 musicians contributed to this album. Now, after performing Springsteen on Broadway for 14 months, he made the decision not to tour behind this album. However, he did want to commemorate this in a live recording, and that was how the film Western Stars came to be. Western Stars was actually a three-part release. First was the album Western Stars, then was the film, co-directed by Bruce Springsteen and longtime collaborator Tom Zimney, and then there was Western Stars, Songs from the Film, which was the soundtrack for the movie. He recorded and filmed the album over 2 days with a full orchestra, string section, and backing band, to an audience of invited friends and family. In between the songs in the film, there were different segments shot partially at the Joshua Tree National Park. It also featured footage from Springsteen's own personal collection, including an intimate portrait of his relationship with wife Patti Scialfa. Springsteen began showing the film at film festivals in North America and Europe, and then it was going to be shown nationwide as part of a Fathom Events. They were showing it in Freehold, New Jersey, just a few minutes from here, and I got a ticket for it about 2 months before the actual day of the show. This was the first time that I got to see a Bruce Springsteen performance in a movie theater on a big screen, and it was a very special occasion. Before the film started, there was a 5-minute video about the making of Western Stars. After they showed the preview, the lights came back on, and I couldn't believe it. Bruce Springsteen walked in the theater and he introduced the screening. It was very exciting to see him just a few feet away right before I was getting to watch this movie. While introducing the film, Springsteen stated that when he made the decision not to tour, he wanted to record the album and present it in the best way possible. He also encouraged the audience to hold their applause to the end of the movie because there were different segments in between each song. The film itself featured the entire album of Western Stars performed in sequence, and during the closing credits, the band performed the Glenn Campbell hit Rhinestone Cowboy. And with the release of the film was the release of the soundtrack, Western Stars, Songs from the Film. I already had this digitally, but I just got it recently on vinyl, so let's go ahead, open it, and take a look at the Bruce Springsteen Western Stars collection. So Western Stars was a three-part release. The first was the album Western Stars. The second part was the movie Western Stars, a film by Tom Zimney and Bruce Springsteen. And the third part was Western Stars, Songs from the Film, which featured all of the live performances in the movie. So the album itself, Western Stars, has a booklet with all of the credits of who performed on the album, and it had a lot of great pictures taken out in Joshua Tree National Park. It had the lyrics, all of the credits, and like I said before, over 40 people performed on this album, and it really gave it a lush cinematic feel that hadn't been seen like this in previous Springsteen recordings. And what I have next is the Blu-ray of the film Western Stars. This is a very basic release. There's no bonus features at all. It's just the movie on Blu-ray. It's about 85 minutes long. Has performances of the entire Western Stars album from start to finish in sequence, plus the song Rhinestone Cowboy, the Glen Campbell classic. And recently, I just got Western Stars songs from the film on vinyl. I already had this digitally, but I wanted to get it on vinyl because I just started collecting more vinyl along with my daughter. So let's open it up and let's take a look at it. This is on 2 albums. It features all of the songs in Rhinestone Cowboy. And this is a picture of the barn in Colts Neck where Springsteen performed the entire album. It's got the lyrics, the songs for the one. It has the second LP with the lyrics to the songs on that, all of the credits, the album. So I look forward to putting this on my turntable. I look forward to listening to it. It's a really great recording. He did an incredible job of really complimenting the songs, and the movie itself really captures the essence of this album in a very visual way, and it's one of the most intimate pieces of music that he's ever put out. So that is it for our look at Bruce Springsteen's Western Stars. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we look forward to seeing you next time.